straight away. First of all, no health and safety. That's the thing. Now, Spy Game was probably one of the last films where considerations around health and safety have become much more stringent. I'll say it one more time. Definitely health and safety. Spy Game is probably one of the last movies where health and safety then became more stringent, especially with British crews. Bear in mind, some of those big movies I did back to back had the same crews. I think we had the Mummy crew, Gladiator crew, Spy Game crew were pretty much, there was a lot of overlaps. And there was, as you know, in the end of the movie, there's a big terrorist attack where a motorcycle goes in and they blow up this building. So again, like his brother Ridley Scott, 15 cameras, and they're going to blow up the building in real time. It's a building that needs to be demolished. So it's packed full of explosives. So a motorcyclist goes in, that's shot. Then you put a dummy on the motorcycle, it goes in, and then there's a countdown to explosives. And it was, I don't know how many there were, but there was enough to blow that building to smithereens. And they told me, you're on the opposite side, so we're on an opposite building, not far off. I mean, we're talking about, it's an apartment block. So one apartment block, the next apartment block was about, you could walk over in about 40 meters, maybe 30 meters. It's like almost next to it. So I'm on the roof there. And I said, so what's going to happen? He goes, yeah, they'll go in. And then all you need to do is duck behind the wall. You're sitting on there and then you see it go in. And then when it explodes, just duck. I said, all right, that's fine. And then they do the countdown. It's a 2-minute countdown from like 120, 119 seconds. And then these shields go up. The crew have got shields and hard hats. And then with 30 seconds to go, I said, hang on, this is, how come you're all covered? They went 10. No, I said, but this is ridiculous. You're all covered. I'm not. And then you'll be fine. 3, 2, 1. I'm not kidding. An explosion goes bang. And this rock comes flying over my head. I ducked and the rock goes over my head. I've ducked for my life. The rock must have only gone about 10 feet above my head, but it was blown hard from the bottom of the thing. And then it all finished. Everyone clapped. Tony Scott says, let's look at the cameras. There's a big 15 monitors here. And then someone starts laughing at my, they goes, look at Omid shit himself. So they go to Omid. So the thing comes over and I dive. And they go, let's watch Omid shit himself again. They watched that about 10 times. Someone else goes, how did it go? You got to see Omid shit himself. Brad, come and have a look at Omid shit. Robert, come here. Have a look at Omid shit himself. So they're all laughing at me, diving behind a wall I'm sat on. and of course, I'm laughing as well. You don't want to make out that, you know, you're a spoil sport or anything like that. But I think after that, that kind of like do your own stunts, you know, be there. But this piece of rock could have killed me, and it went flying over everyone's heads. And they just said, yeah. Then after someone apologized, because we did not expect the trajectory of a rock coming, because these are real explosives. They actually blew, and the whole thing came down in front of us. It was like Twin Towers, just boom, but it was a big block, and there was smoke everywhere. So yes, I would say that health and safety transformed overnight after that movie. You both seem speechless every time I give you a story. Has no one talked about these things? Is this a completely new?
As I say, I've interviewed so many people from Spy Game at this point, and I've not heard anything about that at all. And you tend not to get many stories about Tony Scott. It tends to be more about just the production of Robert Redford. So hearing it from that perspective is interesting as well. And a lot of people we've spoken to have been sort of behind the camera on that film, DP, the writer. And yeah, just that sort of boots on the ground experience of actually being there, because we haven't spoken to Robert Redford or Brad Pitt. Not yet, anyway. I'm working my way there. But yeah, I'll get there if I keep trying. It's just great that they're just sort of a DIY about it all. And it's only 25 years ago, really.
It was, yeah. We filmed it. I'll never forget. It was all throughout January, February, March of 2000. And I will say this about Tony Scott. He was a complete workaholic. And I said, did you ever sleep? He goes, nah, and neither does my brother. because they would come in after filming, go into his room. He'd have his whole team until midnight. Then they wake up at 4 in the morning and continue. They were working on 4 hours sleep because they wanted to get every shot right. And it was a very technical film to get right. There was lots of stuff about the storyline was quite complicated as well. And there was lots of discussions of, does this work, and will that scan? But they're very, very hardworking, many takes. And I think I probably picked up some of my bad acting habits from Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt always refused to learn lines. He just show up. He had an idea of it and he just improvised. And I'd learnt my lines and then I would improvise around him. And then I realized there's no point learning lines because he's not going to say the lines. So I would just show up. I often would just show up. And then Robert Redford said, would he just goddamn say the lines? And he would refuse to do it, which is they had very different ways of working. So there was a bit of tension between the two of them. There was, it was like a kind of father-son relationship. You've got an old CIA person looking out for the younger CIA person. And I found the story very satisfying and very, very exciting to watch. But the movie, as you know, got ruined because it had a suicide bombing aspect in it. And the film was stupidly released November 2001, when they really should have sat on it a bit longer. It was not the right time to release it at all. I mean, the film was ready to go. 9/11 happened, so it killed I think the first release, and then they got a second. It's like as if I think they give you a slot and you just have to go with it. So they were given November 2001. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I remember. And nobody had the appetite to watch another film which had a suicide bombing ending, bringing down a building. So it's a shame. So the film did very badly at the box office, and I know that really upset Tony Scott. So the making of a movie is very, very difficult. It's like blocks of Jenga, and even at the very last minute, everything can fall apart.